Hello everybody. So, last time we made a basic prototype for Gold Bounty, and all that I've done since last time is just clean up things a wee bit in the game design document. Just some basic paperwork pretty much, but I just organized it and prepared for the next one. So what I was thinking of doing this time is to work on improving the tile maps that are in the game. Well, prototype at the moment. Let's see, where's my thing? There we go. So, last time you may remember this. Just load you up. Okay, so we have basic square walking around. Got your inventory, well, not inventory, objective up here. Shoot 3 more targets. Boo boo boo. Counts down when you shoot. And get to the exit. So, it's not bad for a start, but I reckon this time, like I said, jump into tile maps. Bit of a big subject, I suppose, but I don't know. Start at the beginning and just give a basic rundown on how it works in Godot. I mean, see what we can come up with. So, we'll just jump back to here. Let's go to do list. Number 1. And, oh, it's not correcting. What's going on? 1 in 12. I don't know, I'm sweating the small stuff. Okay, this is 10:10. Come on, focus. Spent all day getting everything perfect. You realize it's just a Word document. Okie dokie. I suppose we just do the basic stuff. Test out tile map types. Chuck in. Let's make it dots for now. It's now tile map types. Okay. Rundown of types of tiles. Whoops. I suppose for now this could be more of a checklist of what I'll do for the stream, I suppose. I'll refine it later on. Rundown of types of tile maps. Test out the different types. Maybe. Sort out Autotiles, I suppose. It's a function in Godot. I'm sure other engines have like similar version, but we'll get to that in a wee bit. So, I only briefly touched on tile maps earlier on where we made like these fellas here. These are just currently random single tiles. But I think we can just zhuzh it up a wee bit. Not particularly after anything that's, you know, too graphically intensive or designed at the moment, because once again I don't really have a set in stone idea of the exact kind of game I want to make. Well, not game, but like appearance and such. As I was saying last time, just doing prototyping, squares and circles are fine. Well, in my case it's mostly squares and a little crosshair thingy. It's much later on when you create, when you start getting a better idea of what you want your game to look and feel like, that's when you can really start going in there and doing stuff. Because, yeah, I like making graphics, but, you know, restrain yourself. Don't want to get too carried away too early. Let's see. Suppose we'll do just a basic squares or box kind of tile map for now, which you can update later on with, like, say, oh, I don't know, maybe it's a cave or something, or inside of a building, a scary dungeon, a whole bunch of things you could do instead. But having like just a basic boxes, much like the prototype so far, will probably be the best way to start. So, go into a little bit of theory when it comes to Tilemaps. Just use Krita to illustrate some things. The way that I look at Tilemaps that I've noticed is that there's 3 main types. And, well, types categories when it comes to designing tiles, and it's to do with the amount of faces that are shown. Like, for example, look at the first type, which is pretty much just a very basic square. Because this basic square represents you looking directly down, like your point of view, and you see basically a square. So this could be, I don't know, say maybe some kitchen tiles or something. If you were to make a wall, it would be like a really thin strip. You have other tile out there. Whoop. I don't know, that could be like a tile pattern that goes left, right, whatever. Yeah, so the first type is, whoop, where are we going? Haha, classic. Oh, haven't used Krita in a while. Oh. And what are you... Using way too much A-Sprite recently. Okay. Okay, well, I'll just start a new one. Why not? You're going to create for me, please? Thank you. Oh dear, this is off to a great start. Okay, we'll set up another layer, we'll lock you down. Okie dokie. Take 2. So the first one is yeah, top down regular tile. So we just make this, we'll call it 1. The next, so with these top down like direct view ones, you'll be looking at games similar to like Hotline Miami is one that comes to mind. Another one is, I think it's called Alien Breed. Pretty much it has very simple top down, everything's boxes, or you can get a bit fancy with like the corner pieces, maybe curves or something, but just a bit is as if you're looking directly down on the player. So I'll be sitting, I don't know, here's Space Marine fella or something. And yeah, pretty simple to create, because since you're only worrying about only displaying one face to represent whatever you want in the game, whether it be floor tiles, objects, players, it's a lot easier to work with compared to other styles. But you have to take a little bit of liberty in some areas. You're like saying, how can I do a door here? Because, so if you're going to make a door, be like a little thingy here, that could be a door handle, and opens up. So Yeah, not something I'd use too often, but it's still a viable option for making games and stuff. If you want to get fancy, the next one you work on is two faces. Just whoop, do it there. What that would represent is that, imagine that you're looking down but at a slight angle. So if you were to make a tile, we'll just say this is a wall or something. We'll just put in something like that. So that'll be one. That'd be two. And I don't know, this is like a brick wall or something. This could be like, I don't know, say it's like a dungeon or something that's like all blacked out because, well, you can't see through walls. Well, unless that's part of your game, I mean, could be interesting. Look at some examples of games that would use this. Is think back to like your 16-bit era. Well, in fact, even earlier than that. Look at games like Legend of Zelda, or Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. You've got Final Fantasy. You've got a whole bunch of games. Let's see. You can do all types of things with this. Like you can have it facing down so that it's more of an angle, so you're seeing more of the front of it, or you can work in reverse and do it so that, oh come on, have it more like this. So that'll be blacked out, and down here's your little wall, dungeon, bricks and stuff. So this would be one, and this would be two. Some games that come to mind like this. Maybe more vertical style. Once again, it's also Legend of Zelda. They use both types. Like if you're on the overworld, you see more of this style over here, with like a facing the front thing. So you'd have like maybe a door, or it could be a rock, or it could be a whole bunch of different things. When you enter the dungeon, it's got blacked out areas, and it's got like really sloped walls that go on all sides. And yeah, both of them are used to great effect. But there's lots of other types of ways of doing it, but I just like to group them together and say, okay, two faces or two walls. So that'd be like a ground and a wall face. A lot of games that I see, like indie games and such, that use the whole 2D presentation or old school aesthetic, usually use two faces. Not saying there's nothing wrong with it, it's just something common that I've seen around. And of course the last style is, maybe you guessed it, three faces. You would see these in games that adopt a more complex kind of perspective, to give it like more of a 3D and a 2D space. The big one that pops to mind is isometric games. And just shade that off there. So you'd have one face there, two face there, three face there. How it differs from the two-face side is that this is at one certain perspective or projection, but this one's another one. You can't exactly, well, not easily copy and paste them between each other. So if you're making these, you will have to make the base floor tile, then one on one wall, one on the other wall. Especially if you're doing things like, you know, say if you're doing this dungeon wall texture, you'd have to create lines over here represent your brickwork. You can't exactly flip it to the other side. And there. Some games that use this, what comes to mind? Bastion, Transistor, like your whole isometric projection rather. Hades, pretty much a lot of Supergiant games use it. Final Fantasy Tactics, if you're a fan of DOS games, there's Mystic Tower. Yeah, a lot of that gives it a really nice 3D projection. However, to get it to work and program for it can be a little bit tricky, because with number one, it works on this kind of grid, XY. Whoop. XY. So you've got your x-axis, y-axis. Everything's pretty straightforward, like fella can move up and y, down and y, right and x, left and x. Same thing with 2, that also uses your x and y axis kind of setup. When it comes to 3, if you use the same one, then you've got a problem. With these ones up here, you've got, I'm just following directions. So, okay, if I'm heading up, you know that you're heading north. And when you're heading down, you're heading south. With a directional pad or even your WASD keys on your keyboard, that's pretty straightforward. But when you come to this one, the 3-face, you find that your standard XY setup here doesn't quite behave as it should. Because if you're going just up on the Y, you're heading into a corner. So technically you're going up, but not up in the world. So you'd need more of like a off to the side kind of one. So maybe that's your Y and that's your X. I don't know, it can be done and requires just a little bit of finesse with like coding in all your actions and stuff, but say if you're coming at this from like a beginner or hobbyist kind of level, then I don't know, it's one of those things that could get a bit confusing. There is one style that I haven't seen too often, but nope, can't remember the name of the game. This will be isometric with your 3 faces. There's one which kind of combines 3 and 2, but technically it's a 3-face system. It's more of an oblique projection, so you'd have wall tile there, have it off like that, so this would be one wall, this would be another, that would be your tiles. With this, it kind of behaves a wee bit like this, so you'd be on your XY axis like that. But using this kind of projection style, you can get around the whole, oh no, everything's off with these two. Or with this one for the 3-face here, you can use your up, down, left, right. It's just that bit wonky with the perspective. One game that uses it is, let's see, Earthbound. Like when you're in buildings and such, memory serves, there's a few, like I remember in Nessa's house and stuff, it has this kind of, oblique projection. Then again with Earthbound, they've got lots of crazy things going on with their tiles, like lots of different perspective shifts. So, I've done some experiments in the past with the oblique projection, but there's a few problems that I haven't quite solved yet. I could give them a shot at the moment, but we'll stick to the basics. I'll probably end up making a 2-face one. We've already made a 1-face tile map, which is currently in here, because everything is pretty much looking down. But I think by adding an extra face, like say, that's a wall there, like that, adds a little bit more depth to it. And also you can make some interesting character animations that have a little bit more expression to them and stuff like that. But that's much later on. I don't think I'll be doing any animation today. I'll just stick to Tilemaps. I suppose I could show an example of an older one that I did. We'll just quit the project list. I think I have it up recently because I was doing a bit of testing a couple of weeks back. Space Smash. This is an old prototype that I was working on, but it's kind of stalled at the moment because it's more like one of those tinkering kind of projects. Like it does have a gameplay loop similar to what's in the gold bounty one that I have. But I think it'll just be easier if I show you. So, title screen, testing out a state machine. It's like a sexy intro kind of thing. The objective of the game is just to run around, break boxes, collect nuggets of stuff, and gets added to your counter in the top right corner. Had the life bar in there, like, oh no, you're losing oxygen, so life would trickle down. But yeah, pretty much hit doors to open it up. Like this one I'm probably not going to finish it. Well, I may revisit it later on, but the thing I want to show is, you look up here, this is how you'd set up your two-faced tiles. Like up here you've got the dark, can't see what's in there. It's like two edges on the wall, everything loops around, and you've got another face which represents the wall, like the wall that's facing you that you can see. And same with the doors. Like your vertical doors, they work fine. Like I just did like a little shoom spaceship kind of thing. Works fine here. Oh, lagging a wee bit. Same over here, except when it's side on, the doors don't quite match because they're being cut off by this part here of the tile map. On there, there's also a different color on the rim there because, well, I updated and tweaked some tile maps just to test out a few things. Yeah, there's no real point to the game. It's just walk around, do stuff, and exit when you're done. Restart the game. So, show you how to make a tile set similar to that with the two faces. Just jump back to Gold Bounty. Come on. Okay, as with anything, I'm going to keep this level 0 as is. Like, it works at the moment. So I'll just create a new scene, and I'll have your name. Tile testing level. Why not? Save this in scenes. Going to add in a tile map. I'll just run through the basic stuff on the right over here, the settings that are in the inspector. With the current version of Godot, which is 3.3, is it? Yes, 3.3. Tile maps work a lot differently than, say, something from like, ooh, I think it would be like Godot version 3, like roughly around the time I started using it. Pretty much you'd have to manually create your own tile maps in a separate scene, save it as a resource, then plot it out, you know, in a very more tedious kind of way. But they've updated it to recent stuff. They might do something different in Godot 4, I'm not 100% sure, but I'll still just run through this. Up here you've got the mode setting, where you can set square, which is what most of the tile things I was showing you before was on about. Isometric, which is changes it to a more of a grid like that. It's like, well, you can't really see it, it's like off on an angle. And you've got custom. We'll take a look at that later. Tile set, that's where you add in the tiles themselves for the map. Show collision, pretty much it's similar to, go here. Oh wait, you can see it here. Oh, maybe not. You've got like this circle here. Whenever you look at things in the editor, that shows the collision. It's the same thing with tile maps as well. Compatibility mode, made in 3.1 or early. That's pretty much what I was telling you about, how they used to do things a bit different back in the day. Textures move when the tile origin changes. Rotate texture size. Non-homogeneous. If false. They have doing flip. Yeah, it's just pretty much legacy support. That should be fine. Centered textures. Well, mouse over says everything. Textures will be centered in the middle of each tile. It's just a visual thing, I suppose. That could come in handy with using something called the Y-sort node, which is to do with positioning objects in front of or behind each other in 2D space. That's for another time. Cell clip UV, what's that? Oh, UVs will be clipped. Oh, that's just fine. We won't usually need that. In cell, we've got the size. You can change the size of your grid. So we go 32 by 48. It'll be more of a rectangle shape. 32 by 32, back as square. You can do it in the other direction. Let's go 1, 2, 8, because why not? So you've got like big bricks out here. 32 quadrant size. Optimizes drawing by batching. Okay, it's to do with performance. There's another option when you're actually making the tiles themselves. You can set up the grid that overlays the image. So therefore you can grab certain chunks and certain chunks in different sizes. Kind of like how you'd set up a grid for working in something like, say, Sprite, or even in Godot, the grid settings we've got here. But this one's just for the tile. It's good for like setting up things like collisions and other bits and pieces like that. Custom transformation. That's where we go up to here. And if you select custom, you put in your own values here. Played around this a wee bit, but as you can see, this changes to a more of a oblique setup. So it's like here, 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 here. The tile reference is still 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 along X, and 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the Y axis. Just that I tweaked it there so it's a bit off. And of course you can do it in the opposite direction, or what else we got here? Let's try this. What does that do? Oh, that's your offset. Okay, so if you go minus 32, I'll nudge it back that way. 0. I don't really play around with this stuff too much, only if, you know, I really need to do something. Like with that oblique style of type I was telling you about before. Doing a custom transformation like this, there you go. That's how you'd have it chart as an oblique setup. Half offset. Offset X. More of like a brickwork kind of design. So as you can see, this yellow line here, that's like, that'll be tile 0. This will be tile 0, tile 0, tile 0. And you can set it different types on X or Y. So once again, you've got these lines here. That's 0, 0, 0, 0. Disable is just the default. That's pretty much what you'll be using most of the time. Negative X, negative Y. Well, it's self-explanatory. Tile origin. Top left, center, bottom left. Haven't tweaked around with that too much, but pretty much it's just where each tile will be referenced as where does it start. So you may select this tile, but instead of it being top left, you could do a bottom left, or the center, or however you want to set it up. But that's mainly to do with just the tile stuff, not the actual textures, because we have centered textures up in this area. Y-sort, that's what I was telling you about before with objects appearing in front of each other. Not quite that important. Well, it is, but at the moment, just keep to basics. Pretty standard collision stuff. Uses the parent's collision. Use kinematic, should be, yeah, handled as a kinematic body. That's to do with like how we'd set up the player. The player object itself uses kinematic body. You can apply that to the tile map if you want. Layers and masks, that's a whole other subject. But the gist of it is that whatever layer you're on, is where the object, okay, whatever layer the object's on is where it sits. So say if this is on layer 1, wait, it should be bit 0 value 1, well, we'll just call this 1. This is on layer 1 and the player's on layer 2. They can't interact with each other, even though they have collisions, because they're not on the same layer. Well, that's by default. Like if you put the tilemap on layer 1, player on layer 2, but you set the mask, which is what affects, what the collisions and stuff affect. If you put this on layer 2 as well, because the player's on layer 2, it works. Like, it can detect, oh, the player's over here, the player's over there, it's colliding with the wall. I don't know, it's one of those things you're better off reading like the Godot documents. Like, I'm not doing a very good job at explaining it, but yeah, something to look into. Because later on, collisions will be important. Like, say if you want to shoot a bullet, do you want it to hit a wall, or do you want it to pass over certain walls, or go through them? You can, like, set things up with your collision there. Occluder. Same as collision, except it's just one layer. It's to do with light 2D, which is another node in here which projects out, you know, lighting effects in 2D space. Yeah, if your light source is on layer 1 and the tilemap's on layer 1, then the light affects the tilemap. But if the tilemap's on light mask layer 2, the light's on 1, it ignores it. So, yeah, node 2D, this is just standard for all types of 2D nodes. So you've got transform, you can offset it to a different position, rotate it if you want to get fancy. Scale, you can probably do, does this work? Negative. Well, you can't really see, but wait, let's try 0.5. Yeah, it just shrinks everything overall, not the tiles themselves. Like if we had tiles in there, they'd be squashed in together. Could be used for flipping tiles, I suppose. Well, flipping in a more global sense, not the tiles themselves. Like, as a possibility. Z-index pretty much is to do with the ordering, like overlapping objects. This is on Z layer 0. If you have the player object is also on 0, they're on the same level. If you make the Z-index for the tilemap, it's -1, everything would be below the player. Same as Z-index +1 would be above the player. But usually when it comes to tilemaps, I like to leave the Z-index here alone. If I want to tweak the Z-index, I'd usually do it on a per tile basis. And that will make a bit more sense later on when I get around to sorting out tiles. So, yeah, that'll do. What we've got, editor description, just some other bits and pieces. Okie dokie, we'll reset that back to 0. 32, oh wait, that's for custom. Don't need to worry about that. We'll keep the cell size at 32 by 32. Yeah, okay. So, first thing we should do, because we're doing a two-face style, just make a new tile set. Over here you pop up and you can, well, I showed you basically last time, but we'll go into it a bit more later. Pretty much this is where you'd import and set up your tile maps. For now, got a sprite. There's our old one. Let's make a new one. The tiles are 30 by 32, so I like to give myself a bit of breathing room. We'll do 4 tiles for the moment. We'll do it at 64 by 64. View, will set the grid up to 30 by 32. That's fine. I must have set the background differently. Okay, yeah, might as well change it to Shadow. It's that nice palette that I saw. a while back. I should put a link to that in the description actually. Ah, that's for later on. So we'll make a basic wall tile, a corner tile, and a floor tile. Thing started. So we'll make 4 here. We'll just use this grid over here. We'll do like a offset kind of set up here. Actually, let's make it as more of like pavers or something. Grab this, fill that in. Oop. So that'll be like our floor tiles. For the wall tiles, we'll just keep it very simple for now. We'll do something like, say, this. And this. Actually, I'll mix this up a wee bit. I'll grab that and put like a little rim here. Yeah, and just use this one over here. When creating your tiles, you don't have to use pixel art. I'm just using it because, I don't know, I have Sprite open. Why not? That'll be skinny bricks. The reason why I'm doing it this way is you'd find this in a fair amount of games that do it. Well, do this in games that do it. Me English good, yes. I like to do I suppose it's a wee bit of forced perspective, I suppose. So you'd have your whatever, just basic for now. Don't need to sweat the small stuff. Yeah, kind of looks alright. That'll do. So, as you can see in the preview window over here, well, we could zoom out a bit more here. That's what the floor tiles look like. It looks like the wall. Usually it's good practice to put lighter tiles on top to represent the top face, and slightly darkened ones, like a slight shade darker on the ones that would face like the wall side, not the top side. Side, top side? I don't know what you'd call it. Corner piece. We'll just grab this and we'll copy that down there, and I accidentally put that on another layer. Whoops. Okay, that's no biggie, we'll just flatten down. Although it is good practice to keep different objects on different layers when working, but we're just doing a little bit of futzing around. She'll be right. Grab this and put like a line there and put some black there. Okay, so we grab this and let's put like a yeah, that'll do for corner stuff. So let's save this as, this should still be gold bounty, yep, okay. Basic two-face tile test. No, we'll actually just call it tiles. Okay, and then we export the file. In case you're wondering about the shortcut, it's Control-Alt-Shift-S in Sprite. It's another way you can speed up your process, especially if you've got tasks that you have to do a lot of, is learn the keyboard shortcuts. It's very cool. Should tweak it a wee bit like that. I'll take out that black for the moment. It'll make sense in a bit. Okay, well, oh wait, did I export it? Yes, okay, just to be sure. So we come here to sprites. Two-face, we'll just double check that we've made this pixel. For now, it isn't. Okay. We'll just go set as default for texture. Oh, it just looks like this is turning into a game with sprite work. To keep it crisp, we'll just have a 2D pixel for the import settings. Because really like vectors. I have the most experience with vector graphics, but could be wrong on this, though I haven't found the option. Godot doesn't support vector graphics natively. Memory serves. Like, I haven't come across anything that can be used. Like, there's no import settings for vector. Like, I know you can draw your own things in the game, like the crosshair we made last time, but I don't know if there is. I could be wrong. If there is, then cool. I'd love to sink my teeth into that, because yeah, a little bit of backstory on me. Used to be an animator and used crap tons of Flash for animation. So if there's a way that it's like, wait, so I can just get stuff out of Flash, or I think it's called Animate now. Oh no, I'm still rocking old school Flash CS3. Like, it still works just as fine. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, well, there's a way to get vector graphics to work natively in Godot. That'll be bloomin' marvelous. So, what we got here is suppose it should focus and go into it. Tileset script. You can put in your own GD script or whatever, like we see over here, that affects tiles themselves. May have to use that in the future, but for now, it's all good. Snapping options. This is where you'd edit your grid. So if, at the moment the tile is 32 by 32, I'll just change it so I can drag out the region. Separation. This is if you've got actual separation in the image itself, like say, whoops, wrong program. This one here, say if it was, this was moved over like that to give like some physical spacing between tiles. Of course you need a bigger canvas to show it, but that's where you do your separation. So if we do that here, we'll do 16. You get this little rectangle here. So you divide it up inside the tile, inside the tile set editor. Personally, I don't really use it, but if you need to use it, handy dandy thing. Since I created a new single tile, it's represented by the yellow there, yellow there. We've got what do you call it? Over here we've got the options for it. Like this is just the file name plus a number to represent the tile, but you can change it to say, ooh, we'll call this corner 00. Normal maps. That's a whole other section. The gist of what a normal map does in relation to 2D stuff is you get a funky projection of, it's like red, green, blue, light and dark values onto a tile map, and depending on how light hits it, takes the data from the normal map and it can give you some nifty lighting effects. Like say this tile here would be a certain, this brick here would be a certain color, but the brick up here, the top face, will be a different color. So it represents different ways the light hits it. It's not doing a good job explaining it, but it's something I don't usually use, but I've looked into some documents and like blog articles going into saying, oh, here's how you set up, normal maps and stuff, and you get some pretty spiffy looking results. But that's more based around polishing. Texture offset. You offset where the image is placed. Like, I'll just show you this part because we'll be using it later. For now, we'll just pop back to the tile map. Corner 1. So you can drop down your tiles all willy-nilly as you want. Put this at 0, 0 to demonstrate the texture offset. So you go back into the tile set, use the arrows here to select corner 0. Just move this over here. If you go to texture offset, we offset it on the x-axis. Let's do, say, -16. It moves 16 to the left. 16 to the right. And the spiffy thing we do later is using it on the y-axis. So if we go -32, it appears above the tile that we placed. So if we grab this, see the outline icon, it gives you a little faded out alpha version of where the tile, or what the tile actually looks like. But don't want to get too far ahead, just go through this at the moment. Modulate. Pretty much edit the color of a tile. So if we were to go to raw, if everything's white, and well, everything's 1, that means that it displays as needed. You want to remove some of the red, go 0.5. There you go, it gives you more green and blue. Once again, I'll go 0.5 there. This will give you more of a bluey kind of color. Could be used for lots of different things, as it seems to be. Well, at the moment, it's for every instance of this corner 00 tile. Maybe there's a way to make it affect only certain tiles. Could be used as like some kind of lighting system, maybe? Not sure. Okay, when we created this, we used new single tile. You also have Autotile and Atlas. We'll go into these later on. Here, if you made a mistake, said, oh, I wanted to make an auto tile, but it's a single tile. Ah, crap. I have to delete everything, start over. You can just select it here. And it's got its own extra values that will show you later on. Occluder offset. This is to do with lighting for the tile. Like, you create an occluder polygon over here in occlusion, and whatever's solid there, it pretty much collides with anything to do with the light. So similar to how if you have two collision polygons colliding, they can't cross over each other, two occlusion polygons can't display over each other or shine through each other. So like when light hits occlusion things, say if it's a light that masks out things, if you had a rectangle over here blocking off everything but the wall image there, when a light shines, it'll say, okay, hits the tile, well, we can show all that, but then show absolutely nothing there. And same thing with, well, so when we make a tile there, if we do say, oh, we'll just put a occluder thing right there, that'll be fine. So yeah, you can't see anything if the light shines. Okay, we can see the wall, gets to the top, no, I don't see that. Black it out. Or, I said mask it out. Navigation offset. This is for the navigation tiles, which I'm embarrassed to say I haven't really used. Can't give too much details on it, but from what I gather, just looking at a few documents, is it's relating to the navigation node and A-star nodes for pathfinding. So instead of having to work out some fancy grid system that encompasses working out pathfinding for enemies or other objects, there's nodes in Godot that are built in and can get that working. So I don't 100% know how it works. I'm just assuming, like, could definitely be wrong about this. It behaves like the collision and occlusion. You can draw your own polygon in. Actually, let's give it a test. Here's your polygon, well, drawing options. So rectangle. Yeah, okay. Maybe the rectangle blocks out areas where it can't walk, or maybe areas where you can walk. Like I said, I haven't really tested it out. Delete your polygon there. Keep inside region rect. Didn't know that. Is that for collision as well? Maybe I could. Nope. Stay focused. I just thought of an idea to fix up another thing that I was working on a while back. Snap to grid. Okay. Oh, that's pretty straightforward. Shows you a grid there. So, okay. So we've just made a corner piece there. Let's just make a few more. Call this one wall H for horizontal. We'll make new single tile. Here we'll call this one wall V, wall vertical. And the last fella, basically we just call this floor 0, 0. So if you're working with a tile set like this, I've only just made this as like a basic example, but of course you do things like, oh, I want to make, like, you know, so maybe there's an edge down here, so you make a tile that has like a bit of an edge, or broken floor tiles to make things look more interesting. But for now, this is fine. So you come back to here. Here is all the tiles that you've made. At the moment, it goes in alphabetical order. So if you remember the way we had it set up in the image itself, back here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here it'll be 1, 4, 2, 3, because it goes alphabetical. You can always set up by putting the numbers at the beginning, but that's to each their own. It depends on how many tiles you really want to have. So we can build a level using these tiles. Very basic one, but level. So we grab wall H. We're going to make a... Let's make a little room here. Put in the corner piece. Wall V. And put in the floor. Except, oh no, slight problem. Got a corner for this side. Doesn't work there. So what you've got here is you've got flip horizontally, and for this tile you can place it down thusly. So if ever you see your tiles, you know, say you're putting down like just a regular wall tile that's flipped horizontally, you're like, they don't quite match up. You know, something's going on. You probably have flipped on, like the flipped thing up here. Maybe they've had like a visual cue for that, like maybe make it glow if it's flipped. I don't know, it's just whatever. Clear transform, you can rotate as well. So there, 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 there. When you get, I don't know, a wee bit fancy. If we do this and this, that'll be a room. Maybe we could use like a kind of like a wall end piece kind of tile. We'll just create it back in here. We'll go to sprite, canvas size, pop that over with let's see. We'll go 86. Chuck it there. Oh, not quite. Canvas size. So that'll be 92 maybe? No. Bugger it. 128. So don't get ahead of yourself. Come on, 128 there. So once again, we'll just copy this fella here. Let's do a like that, and we'll grab this here. Vertical thing. Let's grab a shade darker. What was that? Contiguous? Yes. Okay, keep things simple, move that there, save, export the file, jump back into Godot. We're going to go back to the tile set, we're going to go down to here, add a new single tile over there. Whoops, we're going to change the name of it to wall E. Wall end, I suppose. It's all set up, and come back. Flip across there, clear transformation. Test out this scene. Probably be really small. Oh, not that small. So yeah, very basic tile setup. Of course, you could do something like this, and we'll make this into a bigger room out here, and that across there, and I don't know. Well, just get rid of you. There, thank you. Corner, we'll try a corner piece there, and wall stuff there, and another corner piece, or the end bit there, and chuck that there, and I don't know, just yeah, when you got your tile set all sorted like this, then that's pretty straightforward. We'll do that, test the scene. So that could be a... could be like your Final Fantasy thing. Oh wait, that's flipped. Oh no. Go. Like your Final Fantasy, here is the inside of a room or something. Like, here's your doorway, you've got your walls and everything set up. You're like, oh, okay, I see what you're going for. But as you can see with the tile set, there's a few things that stick out, which will require more tiles. Like, notice this inner corner, that's not quite there. Or same with this one, even if you flip it, it's still not quite there. It's, I don't know, there's a few bits and pieces off. You can do, well, your basic stuff, which is make a whole buttload of tiles to cover every single possible thing. That's most certainly an option. However, put it to you that we could do something a bit more different. So we just call this Tilemap single. We're going to duplicate that. We're going to go Autotile. Ooh. We're going to lose the tile set. We're going to start from scratch again. Okay. Let's keep this as basic two-face tiles for now. New will... I'll keep it at 32 by 32. I suppose explanations in order for the moment. Jump back to Critter. Okie dokie, so there's a big complex way of explaining how Autotile works. It's to do with bit masking and drawing certain tiles depending upon the different bits inside of a number, but I'll spare the technical stuff for now. It's interesting looking into like bitwise operators, numbers, all that stuff, but that's more like techie programming stuff. For this, okay, let's see. Alright, so you've got your grid set up like this. What an Autotile would do is that you can draw in these tiles as you would with a brush, and the correct ones will be displayed in the correct order, certain places, etc, etc. So the first thing we'll do is 4x4, that'll work. Make this a 2x2 Autotile. It's relating to the way bitmask works, but the layman's way of doing it is like, say you want to make a shape that's let's choose another color for this. Try and keep things simple, well, straightforward. So you want to make a room that looks a wee bit like this. So you can just draw in these squares, and Autotile, when it's set up correctly, will fill in everything. Like, I'll make a certain corner piece here. This one, oh, this is like an inner corner. We'll do like a little doohickey there. Here, well, that's another other corner. Here, oh, that's like that. We'll set that up as we need. Same with that one over there. It'll go in there and detect the shape that you've drawn on the grid, and we'll fill in all the correct squares and such. And the way you set it up is you create 16, well actually 15, but I'll show you in a bit. You actually create 16 frames, well tiles, that incorporate all these possible variations. Except I'll get to that when I get to 3x3. 2x2, this isn't a valid shape actually. You need to have at least 2 tiles next to each other, so the shape would have to be like that. Like if you put something out there like that, that won't work. That's no bueno. Okay, I suppose we'll just go in there and make it and explain it. So there was another article where, just checking something, I had it written down somewhere. Okay, no, the one time I actually write down something, I don't even bloody have it. Alright. Let's see if that's the case. This was around about the time they implemented the new tile editor into Godot. People weren't exactly sure how to use it. There was this one WordPress article by this fella. For the life of me, I can't remember his name, but pretty much he broke down everything incredibly simple. I will link it in the description later on, because it's worth a read. If you don't understand the way I explain it, he will probably explain it a lot better. But for the moment, we're just going to do this. Ooh. Put it on Shadow again. Wait, give me. Just trying to think of the best way to do this. Okay, we'll go. I'll just do it first and try and walk through it later on. What I'm doing at the moment is making a very basic version of a 2x2 tile set. Well, yeah, we'll just call it that. I mean, oh wait, that needs to go over there. That needs to shoot down there. Whoop, there. Whoop, grab that, move that, there. With this, you don't really have to memorize how it works, but I've just used these setups that many different times, like setting up auto tiles. I can do it from memory. I know, weird flex I suppose, but we just save this as tiles. Now we'll go auto to FC, because we will be coming back to this. Tiles. Yep, and we'll export. Okie dokie. So we are on the Tilemap auto. We're going to create a new tile set. Import this. Yep, and just shoot you up. Going to select new auto tile. We're going to drag it out over multiple regions here. Call this auto 2x2. And let's see, check down into the Autotile bit mask. Like, remember these settings here, you've got single, auto, and atlas. The Autotile bit mask, there's 3 types: 2x2, 3x3 minimal, and 3x3. For most things that require Autotile, you'd need 2x2 and 3x3 minimal. 3x3 on its own, when I stumble through explaining what bitmask is, I'll show you why this one isn't really that efficient. It's one of those features where it's nice to have, but it's not really necessary for most things. It's only if you're going to do like really specific bits and pieces. So, okay, Autotile bitmask, the subtitle size, which is the size of each of these, whoops, come on, 32 by 32, even though the region we selected was 128 by 128, memory serves, yeah, 128 by 128. Over here you've got a few more, different features here. Got region, that's the region that we selected. Collision, we'll set that up later, but I've also showed it on my last stream. Pretty much, this is how you set up a basic, square. That's a solid thing kind of setup. Occlusion, same kind of thing. Navigation, yes. The important thing to pay attention to is bit mask. The reason for that is this is where you set up how it's going to display this image on the as tiles. So here you've got 2x2. You can click to place down red boxes. What this means is wherever there's a red box, it references the surrounding tiles for where the cursor is. So let's see, we've got this one here. You've got a bit mask that is set up like that. It looks at all the different squares that are placed down and looks for a corner piece. So this one would be here. Whoops. Would be here. If the tile was like this, that would be this tile here. You've got a tile that would be like this, so it's like an inner corner kind of piece. That would be here, because you've got to this side you've got straight, this side you've got going down. This would represent that as a little corner piece. So when we get to 3x3, you'd be like, oh, this actually makes a lot more sense now. But yeah, for now, 2x2, bit to get your head around, but it's the simplest out of all of them. To account for all possible connections, it only uses 16 tiles. So we'll just fill in the rest of this bit mask. I set this up so that the dark ones are not red squares, the light ones are red squares. Makes it pop a little bit more. So with all these different tiles, we'll place this down. Go. So that encompasses pretty much everything we need. Priority, that's for later on. You have it's more to do with atlas tiles, but if you have duplicate tiles, like say you have like 3 versions of this one here chucked over to the side and they have the same bit mask, priority you can set it saying, okay, I want this to show more times than these other ones. You do it for each tile, so automatically when it draws the auto tile, it'll say, oh, there's 4 versions of this, I'll just select one at random using this kind of like odds setup. There's a 1-to-1 odd that this will be here. If there's 4 of them, I'll also be like, I don't know, 4 to 7, 1 to 7, 1 to 7, 1 to 7. You know, just odds like that. Icon. I'll add one in to demonstrate what that is. We'll just go here, make a actually let's make it a hollow one. So that'll update in a wee bit. Select the icon. That's what the brush looks like when you are using it as a tile map. So using it in the tile map, like outside the tile set on the tile map. Like we'll just set it to this one so it'll make sense in a bit. Once again down here, pretty much your subtitle size, spacing, offset, all that's pretty much the same as everything else that we've done, so that we set up for single tiles, so you don't really need to go into that again. So we click Auto 2x2. What's going on? Region, yes. Occlusion, navigation, bit mask, that's all set up. Priority icon is there. You see what I was going to say. Okay. I accidentally had the fill button pressed. We just go back to the pencil. So as you can see, you've got the icon. With 2x2, if you click down one box, or any other boxes like this, that aren't in like a 2x2, nothing will happen. It'll just place down the icon. So if you see those, you know something's wrong. Or it can be used as a feature later on. Say if you want to actually create like a separate little one on its own. Like it has its uses, but for now, here we go. So if we draw a square, this one is a corner piece out here of the shape. Place that there. This one is that corner piece out there. So you see how it's kind of sorting itself out? Let's see. It's just visual there. So if we draw out something like this, you can create a weird looking, well, not so much weird looking, just paint down the tiles, and it makes creating levels and level design more, well, it speeds up the process. Like say if this was a top-down tile, like with a one face, all these grey parts, they're walls. All these light grey parts, that's the floor. There you go. You can just draw out your levels willy-nilly and everything displays as it should. So to give you an idea of a way to use this icon, we'll just update this fella here. We'll make him that size, and so change the way the icon looks. Maybe if you put a few ones off like this. Say maybe grey is what the floor is, but the light grey is what the floors are, but not the walls. Or they're not walls, they could be like bottomless pit. Maybe you can leapfrog across. These are separate platforms. Or maybe if you set this up so it looks like a wall, then yeah, you could just put down a thing like this. Instead of making it look like that, it could be like a pillar or something. Or, I don't know, there's lots of possibilities. It's all depends on how creative you are, really. Like, you know, you can find lots of different crazy ways to use auto tiles. suppose what I'll do is just take a quick break. I need to go and grab some coffee, but when I come back, we're going to convert this basic tiles that we got here. We're going to convert that to an auto tile. Do some cool stuff. Yeah, we'll work something out. Okay, well, catch you in a wee bit. That's some good coffee. Alright, so Autotiles. We're going to convert this to a 2x2 Autotile. We seem to have most of it set up, so we refer back to this. The grey parts are going to be floor. These dark grey parts are going to be wall. So we'll just take it one step at a time. We'll grab this one because it's a facing towards this wall. We'll put this here. Actually, to keep things a bit more simple, we'll just flatten this down. Let's call that ref, and we'll add in a new layer. Call this one good. I don't know. Just lock this fella. We'll chuck him in there. Or actually just paste normally. Yeah, just on the good layer. So we have that as a reference point. Put that there. I find this is good practice when you're just building things as you need it. So you've got something to refer back to. Usually I mostly do it in my head, but shouldn't work so hard. Just try to keep it simple. So since this full grey will be a floor tile, come back to here, we'll grab this fella. And we'll chuck him in here. Just scooch him over. Yeah. So once again, we'll just export everything that's here at the moment. And if we come back to Godot, it should automatically update. There we go. So those are our top wall pieces. Those are our floor pieces. So as those are 3, you can see that we add some more here. That'll be the wall. That'll be the wall that's facing us. The wall that's not facing us. There's the floor. So we need a corner piece here. We're not going to worry about doing anything like flipping corner pieces because on the tile map we'll be putting them in anyways. So let's jump back to here. Grab this corner piece. Oop, not that. Copy. Paste. Put that here. And so that we don't have to delete what's underneath. For now we'll just put in a wee bit of black. And once again we'll go save, export. So we've got wall pieces there. Just for a test, that'll be fine. So what we need to do is we need to connect this one to this one. So we need to get where this side meets that side. So it'll be just a little square down here. So we'll go here. Whoop. Just for now, scoot you down. Wait, that's a corner piece. Oops, selected the wrong one. Ah, it's no biggie. We can just copy this. Put you back here. So now those wall pieces connect up. What I'll do next is with this one we'll set it up like we had with this example here. looks kind of like that, but if there's a wall thing here, we'll just pretend this is a floor. Let's just have that as a drop off there. That'll do for now. Because, well, once again, it's really up to your own preference. So, I accidentally pasted that in the wrong layer. We'll just flatten. Whoop. I know, the reason why I accidentally keep creating new layers is because I've been using a lot of Flash recently. Like, you look at the nifty stream starting soon, be right back, intro kind of stuff. I made all that in Flash, so kind of a bit of bleed over with the shortcut keys. So I'll grab you, place you there, except this time we'll grab this here, make you into like, yeah, that'll work for now, I suppose. Just put a little bit of a difference here so it pops out a bit more. So we've got like a little ridge or line there. So that corner piece is going to be horizontal plus vertical on that corner. It should be here. So we just grab this here and move that over. That corner piece we got here. Grab you, scoot you up to there, and break up the line there and there, and oops, we'll just make a break there. So it looks more like a pillar or something. I'll put in a little bit there. Kind of looks roundish. And we'll correct these. Yeah, looks cornery enough, I suppose. Maybe put a line across the top of that. And maybe put you you can get a little bit too carried away with sprite work, like saying everything must be pixel perfect and precise and everything, which is a good thing, except I was just messing around and doing something like this, doing something simple. So get rid of that. The other corner, which would be there, copy this fella, chuck him over there. Oh, forgot the little top bit there. Okay. Scooch him. Whoops. I think that was the shortcut, yep. Flip across the side. Draw you up there. We're going to grab this here. Whoops. Save, export. Yes, except forgot that bit there. Save, export, chuck into here. Fixes up that side. Oh, got a little bit of a problem here. How would I fix that? We'll just leave it for now. It just requires more tweaking. Actually, no, it's not half-assed it. Whoops. Well, come here. Select this much of that tile, chuck it there and there. How does that work? Yeah, kind of, yeah. If we even up the other side, it'll probably be better. Okay. Whoop. Whoop. See how this looks. Oh yeah, it creates like a little gap in there. That's cool. So, missing something. Ah, we need this one here. There, and select you. We're going to grab that selection, grab that, copy, paste, boop, doop, paste back, save, export, yes, move to the next one, boom. So that sorts out that side. Yes, okay. Move that there. So we need that corner piece as well. There. There. Which one were we after? That one there. Okay, so we need to grab this fella. Grab you, copy, paste, chuck you across there. We're going to grab you, select you, flip horizontal, grab you. Whoop. Grab you there, copy you, copy, paste. UV there. Save. Always be testing. That is one off. Okay. 1 pixel off. Cross there, we'll grab you. Just to be safe, fill in that. Okay. And I grabbed the wrong stuff here. Select you, get rid of you. We're going to go here. We need to select a wall chunk. S export. Wait, whoops, forgot to re-put that one on. And, well, we're almost done with setting up this. And we'll come to something else you'll see with Tilemaps. It's not a bad thing or anything like that. It's to do with, excuse me. Ah, that one's bloody off center as well. Okay. It's to do with the fact that even though we've set up the Tilemap so that it has all of the possible tiles that you can have, like in this 16 by 16 setup. Oh, wait, 4 by 4 setup. Wait, 2 by 2 bit mask, 4 by 4 tile sheet, sprite sheet, whatever. Notice how you have something like this, like it have those funky corner bits. Let's explore this. So you look at this tile, it has there and there. A lot of the time when you're making 2 by 2 sets, you won't be using this tile or this one here. But it's good to have it there just in case, because depending on how you use the tile set, it might not look very good if you set them up like that. But having the option there is fine. And also if you don't build a room correctly and you get one of these little fellas popping up, you're like, oh, okay, I might have missed something. Anyway, let's see what we're missing. Missing this end corner piece. Got that. So that end pieces like that is there. So we are going to grab this one there, grab this one over there. and we just need a little inner corner piece there. And yeah, that looks like it's all the bits we're missing. Okay. Rightio, so you are over there, we're going to grab you, flip you across to there, we're going to grab you, we're going to move the selection over to here, copy, paste, we'll move you across to there, export and test. Yep, that covers that side. So it's these corner pieces here. Suppose we can just get away with grabbing this top piece. Oh, that's a wee bit too far over. Yeah. Yes, okay. Going to let's copy these dark ones and we'll just erase you out. Copy you, we're going to move you to there, there, copy, paste, move across. Now let's see how this looks. Don't need that line. Okay, so I'm going to grab that. We're going to, whoops, not you. Grab you. Try again. Grab the selection, move it to there, copy, paste, move into the spot, there, save, export, test an engine. Yep. Oh, and of course you've got the opposing one of those. Let's grab this and copy. It'll be this one up here. So paste, scooch you over, line you up, paste across, boom. Save. Now we export all this. Test it in runtime. Well, should be fine, but get a good view of it. Yeah, I'd say that works relatively well. To really sell this, what I'll do is do this. Since it's one of those tiles we don't really use, go on a tile set, come here, new single tile, and just expand this. There. And we'll just call this void. So you may be going, wait, but Autotile 2x2 is this entire area. Well, you can create other tiles within other tile maps if you really want. Like as a way to save space if you need to, like, you know, cut down on your file size by organizing images in different ways. Unless you know for sure that you're not going to be using these kind of ones here, then I wouldn't do this. But if you know that you're not going to be using these funky kind of joining ones, putting a tile there, it should be fine. So what we can do is we can just drag out here, go to the fill bucket icon, fill in the gaps we've got here, and when we test this, there you go. It's using a 2x2 map, well, 2x2 Autotile to get things displaying as a, well, in a pretty good way. Just jump back to this one. If we make a little, there's the problem. But the way I've got it set up, that if we were to put collisions on there, on the walls, there'd be like a collision polygon, so you can't walk through it. You only have this open. So for this tile, because it's that it was this one, wasn't it? Yep. Saying that's there, that's there. You have to put like a little doohickey stopper there, another doohickey stopper there. Actually, let's be thorough and do that. I'll set up that void tile to reference a different spot. For now, grab you, put you there. I suppose this is a good way of showing how it looks a bit strange. What we'll do for now is we'll change this void tile to this for now. Oh, no, what's going on there? Void, yes, region, I'm going to set that. Okay. So of course everything looks like that. Oh, for this we'll just do it, whoop, there. Okay, there you go. So if you look here, you've got this weird, funky, skinny kind of crevasse, maybe. But I suppose it could work if you make these tiles as like much bigger, so therefore that your player's only like, oh, I don't know, maybe just like, you know, one of these, like just a really small character player could probably squeeze through there. But usually if you're making, like, just in general with levels, you don't want to make things that are a little bit too where are we? Just change the icon for that there. Yeah, okay, so now you can tell them apart. Usually you'd make it just a wee bit bigger, so it's like, oh, okay, I can walk through there and stuff like that. Okay, so we'll just rename that Autotile 2x2. Wait, Auto 2x2, yes. duplicate 3x3. We'll hide you. Oh, whoops, I deleted everything for that. Okay. I always put up a little doohickey there. End piece. Flip, wall, vertical, boop, boop, corner, boop, boop, boop. Clear that. So we have a point of reference for how the different tile maps can be used. So there's your single one. There's that one. You might actually get rid of these. Yeah. And this one. 3x3. Okay, so jump over to Krita. So 3x3. Just bear with me a second. Okie dokie, with your 2x2 tile map, in order to make things appear properly, you need to have, just make this one blue for now, just leave a little swatch down there, grab like a greeny colour, yeah, okay, so for your 2x2 you need to have something set up like this. Because of the way the bit masking works, you have to have it set up so that it can't just be a single tile on its own. It has to be like two next to each other. Whoop. With where are we? Come on. With your 3x3, you can set up your things like this. So when you're making your tile shape, well, not tile shape, oh yeah, tile shape, I suppose. You don't have to have 2x2 next to each other. You have just one brick, one tile, skinny, whatever, which comes in handy because that covers a lot of incredibly complex room designs and shapes, but complex in a good way. Can add a whole lot more. Like if you want, you can make a, set it up here, you can make a loop-to-loop shape with a one tile gap in the middle. If you were to do it with your 2x2 setup, oh, I'm sorry, if you were to do it with your 2x2 Autotile setup, then you'd have to have, like, instead of being like one tile, it'd have to be four. So you'd have to do like a big ass, well, not so much big ass, just a big gap in the middle. This thing, you can use this as just a single tile. It'll make sense in a wee bit. Okay, so it'll probably make more sense if I actually get into making the thing. So Autotile 2x2 FC. Two-face, okay. File, save as. (3x3), and we'll just delete everything so that we have, well, just a blank document to set up. blank document to use. Could create a new one, but it'll make... it's already set up for grids. So the main difference is we've got here with single tile, one tile per whatever you need to display. Your 2x2 auto tile. Just open you up. You need 16. Those 16 will cover every direction and shape and what have you. Well, technically 15, one of them's always going to be blank, but you get the gist of it. It's 15 tiles. We'll just call it 16. 3x3 on the other hand, for a 3x3 minimal, you really got to specify that, not 3x3, that's a whole other story. 3x3 minimal requires 48 tiles. Technically 45 if you cancel your, get your things sorted. Take into account the, come on brain. Take into account the blank tile, then it's 45, but we'll just, wait, 47. For now it's 48. Or 3 times by 16, either way. So we're going to set up this canvas size, so that needs to be 3, 8, 6, maybe. It's probably going to be off, yeah. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 2 off there. Canvas size. It's 3 at 4. At 4. Close. Canvas size 416 maybe. What we got? 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's too much. I will just leave that there. So once again we got Shido. Okay. So once again it's with that WordPress thing I was telling you about before. Probably better off just making this straight ahead for now. One, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we've just set up another. Whoop. Flatten. Whoop. There. Does that match? Doesn't. Okay, this is just to make it pop. As well, once again, I'll do what I did last time and just set up a quick reference. That's right, because I added an extra one there by mistake. See, sprite, just do crop. 384, okay. So I was close before, just a wee bit off. Okay, so that'll probably be the best way of doing this. Do this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to quickly sort this out. This is mainly for reference purposes. Yeah, it's looking about right. Whoops. Not you. We need to grab these ones again. Come on. Whatever, just leave that. Okie dokie. So there's all the 48 tiles we need set up. Save and export, and that is the wrong window. Jump here. Okay. Once again, we'll just create a new tile set. Add in the image, Autotile, etc., etc. So as you can see, it is rather large. New Autotile. Select all of these. Autotile bit mask, 3x3 minimal. Let me just call this floor. Why not? Next we do bit mask. Make sure it's set to 3x3, so when you zoom in, place down your things. Pretty much just follow the white ones that are placed down before. Okay. Well, that's all the bit masking done. Oh wait, and icon. We'll put you as... that fella will do. Okay. So you start drawing with this, if you have the bloody... All this connects together. So you can do lots of zany, crazy shapes and such. And yeah, this is your 3x3 minimal. So you don't have to have it any other ones behind it. When you place down one tile, it references as a tile in there, as the one tile we did for the bit mask. To give you an example, we'll set the icon to just that. So it's there, so is that. Little stick, single path, thin ones like that. All this other stuff. So we'll jump back to here. We'll grab our little fella here. Do that. We're going to chuck in a new layout, put you on. So the way, before I forget, because this is important, this will also make sense when comparing 3x3 minimal to 3x3 regular, or just 3x3. Look at the bit mask. For every single one of these, you need to have the center square and combinations of what's around there, because it's working on a connecting adjacent to the current tile. So you place down a tile, place down one next to it, both of them connect. So that'll be there, that'll be there. Like so. And you place one there, it's saying, oh, there's another one there, cool, another one there, another one there, another one there, etc., etc. Place one that's there, it's like, oh wait, we can tell that there's not just a tile there and there, there's also one at a diagonal. Same here. That's how it works. With your 3x3, we'll just say this is what you'd call your regular tile. It takes into account all possible variations so long as you have one in the middle. So you'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 possible variations, as opposed to this one, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, but fills in the gaps automatically. You can make some very complex stuff with that, but I've yet to find a really good use for it. Like, you could have that 3x3 there. Okay, that's minimal. If you're going to do, say, this 3x3 here with a 3x3 regular, you can make something like this. So that would be a valid shape. Or even like this. Or this. And it places them in different positions and it gets a wee bit complex. You also go to tile size. Once again, basic is 1 tile. 2x2 is, you need 16 tiles. 3x3 you need 48. Well, 3x3 minimal you need 48. 3x3 regular you need 256 tiles. And the majority of those you most likely won't come across. It's just covering all possible angles, eventualities of having a center point with all these others at different bit mask combinations. 3x3 minimal is fine for most things. But if you need to get even more complex with tiles, you'd use something like an atlas tile, but we'll come to that later on. Let's just say it's a lot easier to use 3x3 minimal and saves a lot of time for most of the ideas out there. Well, game ideas, level designs, working with squares or weird, funky, tessellated, boxy images or boxy room designs works fine. Your Autotile 3x3 regular or 3x3, because of the way that the tiles work, you can do something like maybe similar to how you do a circle in pixel art. Like, we'll grab this. So if you take a look at how you draw a circle here, from a, well, if we we'll just send you up a wee bit, just to illustrate a point. If you were to zoom out, it looks like a green dot, but you zoom in, you notice how that it's made up of several different squares. Oops, so that'll be one line there, chuck a few more here, and there. So it looks curved and stuff, but when you zoom out, it's like, okay, fair enough. It looks like a circle. Using just your regular 3x3 minimal, that's fine. Like, you won't really need any more. But if you want to get really fancy, like say if you're making, what would be an example? Say you're making a game about Pinocchio or something, and you're inside the whale's stomach. Well, whales, outside of Minecraft at least, aren't made out of big blocky square things. They have, like, you know, smooth parts and squishy lumpy bits that aren't hard squares. So you'd probably need to, you could probably use a 3x3 tile map to make, like, you know, curved walls or curved floor tiles or other things like that. But with a little bit of finesse, you can do it with just a regular 3x3 tile map with different degrees of success. It really depends mainly more on the lines of how you plan out your art. Like with me, I haven't really found a good way of doing a 3x3 that has like curved walls, because whenever I make curved walls and such using this kind of setup, it always looks like it's just, oh, it's a square, but it's got a curved edge on one tile. So it doesn't quite work well enough for what I'd need to use. But I don't know, I'm just rambling now. Pretty much it's just yeah, whatever you feel comfortable with. If you can get 3x3 tile maps to work properly and find a good way to use it over 3x3 minimal, then I don't know, show it to me. I'd be interested to see how it works. It'd be a lot of work to do though, getting that to be sorted. But anyway, let's make a better version of this one. So to keep things simple, we'll just bring this fella over here for now. We'll go we'll do what we do with the edge of the floors. Edge of the floors, come on brain. Kind of like what we got here with this like thin line. It'll probably work well enough. So, well, not you. So what we'll do is we just copy these out. This is just going to speed things up a wee bit. Someone's going to be blank. We'll just ignore that guy for now. New layout. We'll lock this one so we don't accidentally futz with things. Grab this and we'll make a ridge like this and put like a highlight so it sticks out a bit more. And actually we'll do a little thing around there. Because one way you could use 3x3s, aside from the walls I showed you in the space jump game I demonstrated briefly before, is you can set up one auto tile for the floors and one for the walls. So you can add like a little bit extra. A little bit of extra depth. Like sometimes you need to have just floors, sometimes you need to have just this, just that, etc., etc. I'm not making that much sense. You add a whole lot more variety if you combine your combine two 3x3 ones. It's what I used in that Space Smash one. Oh, wrong one. Yeah, that's all lining up. Oh, don't worry, nearly there. So how do we have this one set up? That one and move it out, save. Should be looking all right. Yeah. Okay, so and we got like this little rim around the outside of the floor tiles. So you can create all kinds of funky shapes. And it's, as I said before, like for most game-related stuff, this is pretty much all you need. Like the 3x3 minimal, as opposed to your regular 3x3. So and that's there, F6 and run you. So yeah, looks all right. So what I'll do next is we'll go sprite size. Oh, no, not you, not sprite size. Canvas size. We're going to go 256. And we're going to go here. I'm going to grab you, select, copy, paste. Nope. Copy, paste. There. Whoop, no. What's going on? That's the ticket. Alright. Cool beans. I'm going to do something cheeky here. We're going to recolor this. So we'll make that into... let's see. Back that into more of a green setup. Yeah, that hurts my eyes a wee bit too much. Okay, there we go, there we go. On this one, we're going to grab this one. Pop back into tile set, we're going to grab you. This is to demonstrate another benefit of using both of these. Wall, yeah, I suppose wall would be alright. Icon, we'll chuck you there. Bit mask. Whoop. Set it to minimal. Alright. And I think it's funny today. It's like, you know what? Let's make some Tilemaps for my game. This would be awesome. And it's almost turned into kind of a explanation of Tilemaps and Godot. It's not my intention. Oh well. Well, still, whether you're a beginner or somebody that's just checking out the stream for a bit of fun, yeah, hopefully you learned something from it, I guess. So, as you can see, we can do things like filling in gaps. Like, at the moment, just pretend this is a top-down kind of game, similar to what we had before in the prototype. So you've got your floor and wall set up. Okay, funnily enough, yeah, actually did do something here, just completely skipped my mind. Yeah, green squares there, green wall tiles. Who'd have thunk? Alright, so other features with I could show it with the wall actually. I was going to do something a bit more involved, but no, this will work. If we come over to here, and if you remember, we had texture offset. So we're on the wall. Going to offset the texture on the y-axis, which is up and down by, let's go 16. There you go, that's like a extra dimension. We'll do 24 as well. Now here's where the big brain stuff comes in. Instead of making tiles like this, being squares, if you make them rectangle, and we'll just say this is the top of the wall, and just imagine it's another part of it. If we do something like, say, if you get the right tool, something like this, and grab a lighter color, like that. So that'll be the top of the wall, this will be the face of the wall, and you make this entire thing here, this, ooh, that'll be probably 48. Wait, 32 plus, yeah, 48. Make it 32 by 48. What you can do is you can have the walls display whenever, whatever direction's facing down, but at the top have the Autotile, so you can do what we did here with putting like a rim or something fancy around there. So you can add extra depth using the texture offset. I think, I'm not sure if the texture offset's been explained by anybody else online. No, wait, I take that back. Game Endeavor for that Zoe game that he was making. I think he touched on it as well. I stumbled onto this by accident. Doing some stuff with Occluder, accidentally chucking in texture. I'm saying, oh, wait a second, I can make this taller. Mind blown. So yeah, that's one possible way of adding a little bit of extra depth. And of course, you can go the opposite direction. So you can make the blue parts the top, or make this go down. Or maybe if you want to have it like, say, ooh, another kind of three-face one, where you do, where are we? No, wait, no, let's still be two-face. Go, I can't really see it, I suppose. Yeah, another potential oblique one. You could have it like at an offset, or even if you have it as a side-scrolling platformer kind of thing, you do like this. Okay, maybe not quite like that, but get the idea. Like, actually, I could probably just chuck the z-index of that up to 1. That'll work. There we go. If you have like a diagonal join up here, it could be like a platform you can land on. So this would be the floor, this would be like a wall, this would be like the facing you wall. For more of like a platformer kind of game. Like, look at slanted ones like, say, Commander Keen 4, 5, and 6, or like Dust and Elysian Tale, or there's lots of ones that have like this kind of offset diagonal projection, like the ground is popping out at you slightly at an angle. Got that as an option. That's just by using the offsets. Don't really have any examples on hand. Like the, except for that Space Smash one I showed you earlier on. Those tiles are using the offset. So that's how you could use it to create a wall, like, you know, that sticks up a wee bit. Because if you make your fella move up like this, like your tiles move up like that, it only moves the displaying texture. So if you're going to chuck on something like, say, collision, we'll just pop back out here to show you. Put it just side by side. As you can see with the preview for it, the wall is more vertical, like it's, well, negative on the y-axis compared to the blue one here. If there's a collision shape on the blue, you say, oh, just make it to the square. Well, the tile itself, it'll just be a square there. The green one, it'll be where the blue one would be. Like, put a blue one in there, it'll be where the blue is. But the texture itself will be displayed at the offset. It doesn't affect your, what do you call it, collision shape. However, down here you've got shape offset. You can move the collision shape itself. Like, does it have a little spiffy tooltip that tells us? Oh, it doesn't. Well, this one pretty much covers your collision one. Same with navigation polygon. Once again, never really used the navigation stuff before, but I'm just assuming it'll be like, you know, copy paste instead of being shape for collision, shape for the navigation polygon, and same with occluder. You can offset the occluder as well. So I've got those kind of options there. I'm not going to make a 3x3 to regular to demonstrate, but just take my word on it. You pretty much only need the minimal for most things. 2x2 is good if you want to knock together something quick or keep file sizes down, I suppose. Keep your tile set simple. One more thing I'll show with this. There's the Atlas tile as well, but if you've got an Autotile, you've got an option up here called Disable Autotile. What that allows you to do is you can select any of the tiles that you have inside of there, and you can place it down manually if that's something you want to do or something you need to do. Like, I don't know, say if you're doing this as like a side-scrolling platformer or something, and you've got, like, you know, a ramp you can walk up, but you've got specific tiles that show different parts of a ramp. You say, oh, well, I can just build it up with a water tile, then disable it and chuck in, or we'll just chuck in a little bit of a ramp here or something. I mean, we don't have anything built to show, but that's the general gist of it. What else? Yeah, disable auto tile. Oh, and obviously you can just click it back on and draw as you'd need. When you edit it, it snaps back to normal. So with your... just create another one actually. This won't take long. It'll wrap up pretty soon. Tilemap, we'll just call this Atlas. Zoom you back down. Go here. Get rid of all this stuff. Show you how an Atlas works. New tile set. Popping into here, we'll use... we'll just use this. Tiles testing. Actually, if that's the case, we're going to go File, Export, Tiles testing. Let's call this Alt. Resize to 200%. Export. Go here, we're not going to use that one. No. Remove selected texture. Tiles testing Alt. There we go. Yeah, okay. So we're going to create a new Atlas. Draw out your region. That's pretty much it. We'll just call this Atlas Test, I suppose. Once again, pretty straightforward, similar to your regular tiles. You've got, you know, your normal texture offset, material, subtitle, size, occluder, navigation, shape, all that kind of jazz. Behaves very similar to a single tile, except you've got this option when you come out here, Atlas Test. You can, if you have the right thing equipped, there we go. Select this one. Pretty much it's a way of grouping similar tiles together. More of an organizational thing. However, there is a spiffy feature that you can use. I'll just get rid of what's here for now. It's called priority, just over here. I was talking about it before, it's like odds of showing something. So you can select your different tiles. Well, it's not really that apparent. This. Oh yeah, that kind of works. Here we'll go and select this one. We'll bump up the priority. You as well. You a bit more as well. I think I'm missing something. Ah, yep. Okay, yep, I see it. Enable priority. Okay. Overlooked it. Because pretty much the way this atlas looks like, it behaves very similar to the disable Autotile thing I just showed you with your 3x3s. Whereas in that one, the individual things are based upon the bit masking you did. This one is based on the subtiles, which are inside the atlas region we displayed. We did before. If you enable priority, you can draw it down as a single tile, but because we futz with the priority values, you draw it out, it can randomize and show different tiles that are within the atlas that displays based on priority. So yeah, we'll just scooch out some more stuff. This is handy if you want to do something like, say, grass in a game. We'll just use that as an example. You have different tufts and looks of grass, but it's still just grass that covers the floor. If you make an atlas of all those potential different grass tiles, enable priority, then here you go. You've got your whole different randomized setup, which comes in handy. It's something I really should use a bit more. Then again, I haven't done too many organic looking tile sets. Might change that. In the future, I'll try some things. Anyway, that's pretty much most of what you can do with tile sets and tile mapping. So you got offsets. Yeah, there's not much else I can cover aside from the fact that if we do something like isometric, this is like your different different styles of grids. So we've got isometric there, goes off on like funky angles, and as with Autotile or Atlas things, everything is agnostic. Well, not agnostic, everything carries over. Like you could have it as isometric or you could have it as square, everything still behaves as it should. If you want to go custom and create something, this is where we have the, where we sell? Yeah, custom. Go 32 by 32. Go, except this time we're going to do 16. It's got like a weird offset. I would do like minus 16. Okay, it's often even more of an angle and displaying in wonky ways. Let's go offset by 12. Yeah, it doesn't change too much. There was a video by KidsCanCode, I think it is. Covers procedural tile maps and auto tiling as well. If you want to learn how to manipulate this with code, there's always that one. What else? I don't think there's too much else to cover. I mean, I suppose I'll end it here for now. I mean, it's been a good solid 3 or so hours just talking about tile maps. Yeah, haven't added too much to the game, but I don't know. Relating to Y-sort, remember this option over here, how it says Tilemaps direct children will be drawn in order of their Y coordinate. I'll save that for later, because what I'll do between streams and stuff is I'll settle on a way of, well, settle on a type of tile type to use, I suppose. Like 1 face, 2 face, 3 face, that kind of stuff. And yeah, I don't know. See what happens. Still early days. So long as I make a start on something, like a little bit more visual. Like aside from the tile maps, I'm not going to worry too much about targets, player animation at the moment. But this bullet behavior, might have to do some tweaking with that. And that's probably what's slowing me down is critter. No, thank you. Okay. Yeah, that's a bit more, a bit better. Like sure the slow bullets work, but I was doing some reading the other day and they said that there's a way of doing it so that when you click your mouse, there's like a ray that casts out, hit scans where it is, then divides the position of the bullet by the distance between there divided by move speed, bullet speed, whatever, and handles it that way. Could be more interesting, like have a system like that, like okay, it's detected, okay, what's going to hit a wall, and bullet goes along, you can tweak the speed a little bit more, see what happens. I don't know, just different ideas and stuff. But yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about the movement speed at the moment with the player character. It'll be more apparent till we get around to actually testing and having like enemies that can move around and shoot, because they'll be using similar bits of code, because you can pretty much just copy paste the movement code for the player but just apply it to the enemy. But for the enemy, instead of working on key presses like your WASD keys, you could make it run off pathfinding or some kind of movement vector based generated, I don't know, something rather like that. But that's like later on. We'll just definitely have to start adding to just the shooting range, like get this core system down pat and get it to really pop. Yeah, I think that's about it for now. So yeah, once again, thanks for watching. Hopefully you liked what you see. Hopefully you like what you saw. I'll leave a few links to these things I mentioned in the description, and I'll see you guys later.